Hey everybody, welcome back to Success Finances. My name is Scott McLean, and for today's video, we're going to be diving into how to budget my money versus our money. Now, whenever I say my money versus our money, I simply mean separate bank accounts, my money, versus joint bank accounts, our money. Now, before we actually dive too deep, I want to make sure I put out a full disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. My goal is simply just to provide you with information, and then it's up to you to take that information and do your own proper research and then figure out whether or not this works best for you and your household, okay? All right, thank you so much. So we're going to actually break down today's video into three main talking points. The first one is going to be joint hub bank account. And what that means is both paychecks get deposited here. And then we were going to create what's called an umbrella of other bank accounts that are going to fall underneath this. This is going to allow you to watch your money grow much quicker. All right. The second talking point is going to be a budgeting tool, because we all need to know where is our money going. We're going to talk about mint.com. And then that will allow you to actually track your spending habits. All right. And the third talking point will be a good way to figure out how to tackle debt. We're going to use what's called a debt reduction calculator. We're really going to dive into that and talk about the two different strategies that will allow you to pay down your debt much quicker. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. Our very first talking point today is going to be our joint hub bank account. And again, what that simply means is your centralized banking. So both paychecks can come to one centralized location. Now, I know that can scare some people because a lot of us, especially that are in a marriage or a relationship, we want our own separate account, right? And then you have your money and your spouse has their money. Well, if we look at bringing everything together, then it will definitely allow us an easier way to watch our money grow. And I promise you, if you at least look at doing it this way, both parties will get to feel as if they still have their own separate checking account. I'm going to explain that in a second. So remember, since we're talking about a hub account, or the actual account where the two paychecks come into, then you're going to create other umbrella accounts that are going to fall underneath that. Some of those other bank accounts that you can add to the umbrella are a joint savings account. Then you're going to have your own personal checking account and your spouse's own personal checking account. And then maybe even a travel savings account, a child savings account, and my personal favorite, a blessing savings account, right? So how cool will it be if you are able to budget your hard-earned money and deposit into its own separate account for 12 months, and then at the end of the year, you can go to a nice restaurant and then bless a waiter or waitress with X amount of dollars, whatever your budget allows you to do. And that just brings joy to our lives, right? But let's talk about how the actual hub banking works. Now, since we are combining both paychecks, this will allow us to see our money grow. And I say that because generally, whenever it comes to your and your spouse's money, you should be in a position, or you want to try to be in a position where you can save at least 15% of your checking account that goes into actual savings. Now, you may be looking at me and scratching your head, and you're probably thinking, now, Scott, hold on a second. What if I don't have 15% to put into my savings account? A lot of times I have more month than money. What do you do? Well, we're going to talk about that in a second when we talk about our budgeting tool and actually following our money and see where our spending habits go. So the good thing about this setup for your hub checking account, it allows you to pay all of your bills out of the same account. Again, there's no such thing as my bill versus their bill. Now everything comes out of one account. The good thing about this as well is you and your spouse get to decide what is a necessity. In other words, what else other than our bills can we pay out of this account without hitting our own personal checking account and having to pay for it out there. I always give this example. My wife likes to get her hair done about once every 2 weeks. That is considered a necessity. So she actually pays to get her hair done out of our joint hub checking account. Now, if she chooses to go and get her nails or her feet done, that's not necessarily a necessity, right? So in that case, she actually has to use her own personal checking account to get that done. And there is a debit card tied to that account. So how this actually works is every single month after you pay out your bills, now you're looking at, okay, what do I have left? 15% going to savings. Now, how much out of that that's left in our joint account can we start trickling down to all of our other umbrella accounts that are underneath this? So if you have in your budget that you can give $60 per paycheck to your checking account and to your spouse's checking account, this actually creates two separate things. Now, I say $60, your budget may be more than $60, or it may just be $25 per pay period to go into that account. It depends on what your budget is. We'll talk about the budgeting part in a second. But what this allows you to do, it creates discipline, and it also prevents you from impulse buying. For example, if your wife wants to go out there and buy that $400 purse, since that's not a necessity, obviously she has to spend that out of her own personal checking account. Well, if she has not saved up the $400 yet, then she can't get that purse. She can get that purse once she has saved over time the money that's trickling down every single pay period into her own checking account. And once she has saved the $400, then she can go out there and buy that purse. The exact same thing is true for us, fellas. Whenever we want that $600 tool set out there, we can't just go impulsively and buy it if our own personal checking account does not allow it, because we cannot pull the money from the joint account because that is not a necessity. I also like to use this example right here. I live in an HOA community. Our HOA bill is due on January 1st every single year for $600. Well, what just happened the week before January 1st? Christmas, right? During Christmas time, what do all of us like to do? We overspend. Now, who in the world wants just after Christmas to have to spend $600 for an HOA bill? So how we have it set up is we have underneath our umbrella of our joint hub checking account, I have an HOA savings account. Since our HOA fee is $600 for the whole year, if I divide that by 12, which is the number of months in a year, that comes out to be $50 per month that we budget for HOA. So we simply transfer during once a month out of our joint hub checking account to our HOA savings account $50. And then when the end of the year gets here and it's time to pay our HOA bill, only thing we simply have to do is transfer the $600 up to our joint checking account and pay the bill. So that way it doesn't hurt as much, right? So that's the whole goal. Our goal and our point is to watch our money grow and also to create a budget and a happy place that both parties can actually agree upon. So that's joint hub checking. Do me a favor, if you have specific questions about how this works, feel free to comment in the comment section below and I'll try my best to answer them. And also, if you have specific topics that you want us to talk about, please feel free to comment in this comment section below and I'll make sure that we shoot a video just for your specific topic, or we'll at least try. All right? So that's going to segue us to talking point number 2, our budgeting tool. We just talked about how to set up our bank accounts. Now, again, this is just my advice. I'm definitely not telling you to go out there and do this. Do your research first, and then you and your spouse decide whether or not this will work for you and your household. But this next tool I highly recommend that you all use. I like to use it. It's called Mint.com. It's a simple budgeting tool, right? It allows you to actually tie your bank account to the budgeting tool, and then every time you swipe your card, the categories or the transactions get categorized and you get to track your spending. Now, Mint.com is not the only budgeting tool out there. It's just one that I like. I know several people prefer other budgeting tools. In fact, what I'll probably do is I will probably do a comparison video between Mint.com and some of the other budgeting tools out there so you can decide which one works best for you. But I highly recommend that you look into one of these budgeting tools because it really dives deep into your spending. And you can really see where, okay, maybe we ate out a little bit too much this month because I hit my report button and it showed that dining out was X amount of dollars compared to our groceries. If we pull back from right here, then maybe now I have enough money to start putting more in our joint savings account or a child savings account or start saving for college for my little one. We'll talk about a college savings account fund. It's called a 529 account. I think it's going to be great for everybody out there that wants to look at savings, saving for college for their kids. We'll do that in a separate video, so stay tuned for that. In the description below, I'm going to go ahead and add the Mint.com link. So only thing you have to do is just click on it, and then you can actually see how it actually works. This is completely free, and you all can actually use this as a budgeting tool to really track your spending. So that way you can really decide where we can trim away a little bit of the fat and decide that we can push more of our money towards our savings. Or if I'm looking for that vacation, one of my accounts underneath my umbrella can be a travel savings account, and I can start putting money toward my dream vacation as well. All right, so that is Mint.com. I really hope you all really dive into that link just to look at it and do a little bit more research. The third talking point is actually one of my favorite tools that I absolutely love. It was introduced to me by one of my coworkers. And to be honest with you, I think it really can help a lot of people because some people, let's just be honest, are in a position where, Scott, we really don't have the money to, at the end of each month, to save because I have debt. I want to know, how can I pay off debt? And then once I pay off that debt, that will free up some things and allow me to really start saving and budgeting, right? So this next tool is called your debt reduction calculator. Again, in the description below, I've dropped the link there, and this is a completely free tool, and you can download it. Now, if you're like me and you use a Chromebook, you can download it with Google Sheets, or if you have a PC, you can download it using Microsoft Excel. And this is a great debt reduction tool. It allows you to really hone in on how to tackle your debt using two main strategies. The first is the snowball effect, and the second is the avalanche effect. So what does that mean? Well, the snowball effect means you're going to tackle your debt with the lowest balance first. So that allows you to feel like you got a win underneath your belt. I paid something off. Okay, we have a victory there, so on to the next one. The downside about that is you will end up paying a little bit more in interest over the course of the life of the debt. The second strategy is the avalanche. The avalanche means you tackle the highest interest debt first compared to the lowest balance. Now, again, the great thing about this is you knock out the highest interest accounts first, you pay less interest over time. The downside is it generally takes you longer to pay something off. The good thing, and here's the wild card, the good thing about this debt reduction calculator is it has what's called a custom feature. And in this custom feature, it allows you to do the best of both worlds. And what I mean by that is you can actually combine your, let's say we're going to use the avalanche strategy, which means we're going to tackle the highest interest first. Well, I can customize it and design it to where I tackle a specific debt first, and I can tackle it and knock it out. It shows you in complete order of how the actual debt calculator works and what your strategy should be to actually become debt free. The good thing about this tool, again, it is completely free. In the description below, I will have that link. And when I say free, it's free up until you get to use up to 10 different debts in line items. You can use 10 debts. If you have more than 10 debts, then obviously they're going to want you to pay something, but most of us can keep that right at around 10. And then that way you can absolutely start tackling your debt. The good thing about the link down below, we also have a tutorial that explains to you verbatim, step by step, of how the debt calculator should work. All right, so do me a favor. If you found this video helpful, and I hope that you did, please make sure that you smash that like button for me, and please subscribe to our channel. We're going to continue to do more videos like this. We're going to stick with budgets right now, and then we're going to move into more financial topics. But also, please feel free to comment in the comment section below and let me know the type of videos that you specifically would like for us to do, what you would like to see. Just let us know, because at the end of the day, my goal here with Success Finances is to share the knowledge, spread the wealth, and ultimately help you build a legacy one investment at a time. Until next time, talk to y'all soon. Stay blessed. Thank you, everybody.